Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and today I have my next update for my Project 10 uses and my No Pan Left Behind. A quick little synopsis of this video and project is that I wanted to pick out certain categories in my collection to touch on more because I noticed that I was neglecting them with prior years of project panning. So I have certain categories in a roulette wheel, and so I randomly roll in these products and I use them 10 times before I can roll them out. And then my No Pan Left Behind is I want to touch every single eyeshadow in my collection throughout the year so that none of my palettes are feeling neglected. And so I do have a goal to hit every eyeshadow. I do usually select out about 5 palettes at a time. I do have some palettes going in my deck of panning as well, but I do try to always have 5 palettes rolled into this project. Now, I did roll in some singles last time, so if I do roll in a single, then I use it 5 times to be able to consider it completed. So that is the quick little synopsis. I am going to give an update about Mr. Malcolm, and so let me roll my little intro clip, and then we'll get into a doggy update, and then we'll get into my projects. I first want to start out by saying how much I really appreciate all of you guys commenting kind words and encouraging and prayers and good vibes for Mr. Malcolm after I gave an update that he wasn't doing so well. And so I did want to go ahead. Everybody has been asking for an update, so I wanted to do it in this video instead of typing individual comments. And I'm going to do this without crying. So I will say, if you have like pet anxiety, like pet health anxiety, if talking about pet health is not good for your mental health, I will put a timestamp on the screen so that you can skip ahead to the makeup content if you want to skip over this. I completely understand because I have pet anxiety about my own dogs, so I sometimes can't listen to other people's stories about their pets. So the update on Mr. Malcolm is we took him into the vet earlier this week. I'm filming this on a Saturday. We took him into the vet on Monday. They did a quick little exam. They thought ACL tear, but they said, hey, drop him off tomorrow. We're going to sedate him for a little while, get some x-rays, get a really good exam done on him, and then we'll be able to refer out from there. So we dropped him off Tuesday morning, and he was a very good boy for the vet. But around noon, we got a call from our vet that the x-rays were done, the exam was done, and Mr. Malcolm actually has bone cancer. I'm going to keep it together because I'm not one to come on and be weepy on my channel, but I kind of suspected cancer just because of how much muscle wasting he was having on his back end. Because the night before, my husband and I had discussed about whether or not, if it was ACL, would we go through the surgery, and money is not the issue here. I don't want to sound pretentious with that, but like, I know a lot of times people have to make a financial decision whether or not they're going to get, these big surgeries done on their pets. We just had the double elbow dysplasia surgery done on Washburn in March. So we are fine spending money on our pet's health. But with his age, he is 11 and a half years old. His back end was already getting a little bit unstable. My husband and I both thought that if it was ACL, that Malcolm would not recover well from a major surgery like an ACL repair. So even going into dropping him off on Tuesday morning, we had already said, like, if it was ACL, we were not going to get the surgery. We were going to just keep him as comfortable as possible until his back end went out completely. And then we would make the decision to let him cross over then. But I don't want to say that I'm relieved that it is cancer. But what I told my vet is that if it was an ACL, and we didn't do the surgery, I don't know if I would have had regrets over not trying everything. And so him having a cancer diagnosis actually has lifted that guilt off of me, that there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to fix it. So as much as I hate it, and this will be our third shepherd that has passed away from some sort of cancer. Zoe had brain cancer. Simon had heart cancer, which that's where I have my pet anxiety, because he started internally bleeding out of nowhere and went into shock twice. So, but with the bone cancer, I got a lot of information. I saw the x-rays. I know where it is. I asked where does it usually metastasize, and my vet says it usually metastasizes into the lungs, but we will have made a decision about Malcolm crossing over way before it gets to that point of him starting to have breathing difficulties, because I would not do that to my pup. So for right now, we are on pain control. We are doing medications for pain and anti-inflammatories, and he is getting lots of love, and he is getting lots of really good food. Our vet said that while this is an aggressive cancer, it's not necessarily, he can't tell us how quickly it's going to move. And really, I'm not worried about it metastasizing. I'm worried about Malcolm's comfort. And because he's not putting weight on his back leg, because the cancer is in his femur right above his knee, so it's really painful for him to put weight on that femur and on that leg. The other leg is going to end up giving out. So what we're doing, again, like actually after I film this video today, we are going to go to Chick-fil-A and get him some Lord's chicken and let him eat all the nuggets he wants, and then we're going to go through a local coffee place and get him a pup cup, and he is going to stick his head out the window and he is going to enjoy himself, and we're going to do as many best days ever for him that we can squeeze into the time that we have together. When he does pass, I'm not going to do a special video on it. I'll maybe mention it in a video, or I will drop something into my community tab, just to let you guys know that if I end up having to skip a video because of grief, that is why. I've already told my boss what's going on, so I told her, hey, if I text you one day and I'm like, hey, I need a couple days, she is on board with me just taking a couple days off work to grieve. And me being able to come on here and talk like this does not show that I don't care about him, because I'm not boo-hooing on camera. I work with, actually since 2015, I have worked with terminally ill patients. So I am very familiar with a death and dying process, and I know that it is a part of life, and I know that a part of being a pet owner is having the compassion and the heart to make these tough decisions for your pets when it's time and not allow them to suffer. I said this to the vet whenever Simon was passing away, and I said how selfish of it would be of me to keep him around suffering just to spare my own feelings. And that is how I feel about this, and this is how I feel about Malcolm, that when he tells us that he's ready, when his body tells us that he's ready, I'm going to say we're ready to let him go. Of course, it's going to hurt. It's going to suck. I'm going to need time to grieve and process. And I've already started the grieving process now. But that is kind of where we are. And so I don't want any of you guys to say like, oh, we were praying for him, we were hoping for a good outcome. Like, that still is amazing. Keep that positive energy coming, because and I don't want to get too spiritual, but like one day whenever I pass, and whatever heaven looks like, all of my dogs better be there. So in my mind, spiritually, one day whenever those reels on Instagram where they show like the dog running through the field, like, oh, I've been waiting for you, like, oh God, like I'll get choked up at that over, talking about Malcolm right now. But his body will be healed spiritually in another realm. And so that definitely, and if you're spiritual also, you understand that. So definitely thank you so much for all of the kind words. And like I said, when the time does come, which it probably will be sometime next month, I will, like I said, I'll do a little update on him. But I really appreciate all of your support. And I've probably been rambling on too much about this anyway, and that's not what this video is about. But I know that so many of you guys were asking about how he was doing. So He is sleeping in his favorite spot up on the first landing on the steps. He is well medicated, he is well fed, and he is going to have a best day ever today when we take him out after I am done filming. So let me get through this so that we can take him to Chick-fil-A. But, okay, so we are going to roll into my Project 10 uses. So let me run my little graphic and get my spreadsheet pulled up, and we will get into these products. Okay, I took a drink of water, I took a breather, I have all my stuff pulled up. We have 9 rollouts this update. Only one thing is staying in, and if you've been following this for the last couple months, you may know what product is staying in. But we have 9 items rolling out. So I'm just going to go in the order that they're on my little graphics in Canva. And so the first one that we are rolling out, and let me get it out of here, is my blush, my Essence blush in Bespoke. And so it's just this brown one right here. And this is a good dupe for the Benefit Dallas. I've had this for years. So I had 8 uses on this last update. I was able to use it the additional 2 times. And so I almost called this Benefit Dallas. So Essence Bespoke is rolling out. Very happy to have that blush. Very happy to have it in my little blush palette. The next one that is rolling out is also one of my little blushes in my square pans, and this is my Franken blush in Rowan. Last update, I did have 6 uses on this, so I needed to use it 4 more times. That was not difficult because this is a beautiful color, and so I was able to go ahead and get my additional 4 uses on this beautiful blush. I wanted to wear this one today, but I have lots of blushes rolled into my projects, and so I did use a different blush today, but the 2 blushes over here are rolled out. And I guess that's the spoiler that this one is not, but we will get back to that. We will get back to that blush in a little bit. And so our next item that we're able to roll out, and this is my Urban Decay liner in Wild Side, and it's just this sparkly pink. And let me see if I can do a little bit of a swatch there. It's kind of like a copper, but it does come off very sparkly pink. I love this. It's a very soft shade. What I've learned about the actual like glitter liners from Urban Decay is that they're very soft, so you're almost sharpening them every single time you use them. But I had 6 uses on this last time, so I needed to use it 4 more times, and I was able to accomplish that goal. Now I'm rolling into the things that I was able to roll in last update. So like I said, I kind of cleaned house with getting these products checked off and done. But I did have my Viktor and Rolf Ruby Orchid Travel Spray rolled in for 10 uses. And if we look, I started, let me see if I can get my angle right. I started up there, and now I'm down here. Now I did use this more than 10 times just because I started enjoying the fragrance, and so I think probably 10 times was maybe a little bit more up here, but then I did use it some more and we got down here. But overall, the point of this project is for me not to stop at 10 uses, but if I'm liking using the product, I'm going to keep using it. So I did get my 10 uses plus on my Ruby Orchid, and I think that I'm going to try to finish this up when like October, November hits, just because I feel like this has a spicy note that is a little bit more fall appropriate, but I really did enjoy reaching for that. The next item that I rolled in was my ColourPop Shadow Stick in Socialite, and this is another one that once I hit my 10 uses, I continued to pull this out because this makes such a beautiful like lash line, just like highlight pop of sparkle. It is so pretty, and let me put a swatch of that right next to it. That's that one right there. So it's even more like rose gold taupey. Absolutely stunning. So I got my 10 uses on this. I have loved reaching for this, and it's again, I'm going to almost repeat myself with the fragrance, but with using this 10 uses and forcing myself to use this 10 uses, I was like, oh, I figured out how I really like to use this product, and it's made me reach for it more. So this one's rolling out, but I did get my 10 uses. My husband came down to get a drink, and I find it awkward if he's listening to me filming, because I don't know, if you also film videos, like if a family member is hearing you talk to the camera, like, are you self-conscious about that? So I just banished him back up to his man cave upstairs. But our next item that I was able to hit my goal on, I did roll in an additional shade in my Tarte highlighting palette. So we had finished up, which, did I have any more uses left on this one? Let me scroll. No, we had finished shade 2 last time and rolled it out, but the wheel put this palette back in. So it rolled in shade number 1, and you guys can see the difference. Look at all of those pans and how much they're expanding. So a little bit of a sneak peek for my project pan coming out on the 5th of September, but we had shade number 1 rolled in, and I was easily able to use that for 10 uses. I love this palette. This is pretty much the highlight palette that I'm reaching for every day. It just, I pick whatever shade I want, but we had expanded that pan quite a bit over the last month. So love this palette. I think the only one that has not been rolled in is shade 3, maybe. So we will have to see what the wheel gives us this time. My next rollout would be my nail polish. So this is the Hollow Taco Menchie the Cat. And this is a beautiful pink hollow sparkle. It's not what I have on my nails today. I actually have an INLP, but I will say this is going to be the theme of this video. But rolling my nail polishes into this project and making myself use them has actually made me reach for my other nail polishes also. And so I'm actually painting my nails more. I'm actually getting use out of my products. So this project has done exactly what I wanted it to do. But I feel like it just had a spit bubble. Okay. How I do nail polishes is that my 10 uses is each hand or each foot counts for 1 use. So if I do a manicure, then that's 2 uses. So I actually do have this on my toes right now, and that was my final 2 uses on my feet. But I did do quite a few manicures with this, and I think actually my last video that I posted, I did have this on, I think, my ring fingers and my thumbs as like accent nails. So I have been using this, and it is getting thicker. I do keep having to like add nail polish thinner to it, but it is a beautiful, beautiful like actual polish and shade once you get it on. But since it's a glitter, you have to do like 2 or 3 coats of a top coat, because it feels like sandpaper on your nails. But I did get my 10 uses on that. This one here, I'm surprised that I got my 10 uses on this, but maybe it's because I finally got my 30 uses on the brown one. But I had rolled in my pink/red Franken cream blush in my little e.l.f. compacts. And so, I mean, you guys can see the dents in there. And sorry if, you know, holes in products creep you out. But since I have been enjoying mixing in my Say Super Glowy Gel in with my cream blushes, I actually did take my makeup spatula and I would scrape a little bit off of this, put it on the back of my hand, and then mix in the Say Super Glowy Gel. And so I did have some scrape marks in there, but otherwise I've been able to use this just, you know, organically and naturally. But there is that shade right there. Such a beautiful red shade. Love it, love it, love it. So I got easily, which again, I'm surprised that this was done within a month, but I did get my 10 uses on my cream blush. And then this one, our last one here, this is a little bit of a photo finish, but this is the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in Get Paid. It is just another coppery rose gold, and so it's that one right there, kind of similar to Wild Side. Where am I? Wild Side, But again, Wild Side does have that pink reflect to it. But I have this one in my look today as my 10th use. I was like down to the wire and I'm like, I'm not rolling this over with one use left. And so I did go ahead and I used it in my look today, even though probably you will not spot where it is because it is a very green look today, but I did use this one more time and this one is rolling out as well. So that brings us to the one product that is staying in, and that is my Makeup Geek Blush in Desire. Now, I told you guys last time that it had major hard pan on it, so whenever I got that hard pan off, it got extremely pigmented. So this blush here is super, super pigmented, and it's not necessarily pigmented in the swatch, but look at the pigment that stays behind. So, you know, picking it up on my finger is very different than how I'm putting it on with a brush. And so when I pick it up with a brush, as soon as I stamp that brush down, that's where the pigment is. So let's see, let me look in my book because I was able to use it a couple more times, but I'm not getting close at all. So I have 4 uses on it total. So I still have 6 more. I think I found a way that I like doing it. And again, I dip my blush brush into the pan and then I scrub it on the lid here. You guys can probably see a little bit of the residue right there because that like disperses the pigment a little bit more to where when I put it on my cheeks, I'm not stamping like a clown cheek. So I do want to get more use out of this and maybe into September as it hopefully starts to cool off a little bit. It's going to be in the, like, no, it's going to be in the low 90s for the rest of the week. So at least it's getting a little bit cooler. But I think I want to leave this in. But I think by the end of either this project or by the end of this year, I need to make a decision on whether or not I want to keep this blush in my collection because it's not serving me how I want this kind of blush to serve me. So if I need to get another berry toned blush that actually fits my skin tone a little bit more, then that's what I'll end up doing because I don't need to keep something around that doesn't work for me. So I still want to stick it out and get 6 more uses on it to really help me make up my mind what I need to do with that blush, but Makeup Geek Desire is the only one that is sticking around. Now, I do know that Angelica Nyquist just released her blushes from Singe Beauty, and oh my god, they're so beautiful. And there's one that is, was it like Timid Tomato? That reminds me a little bit of a few blushes that I like. It's not quite a berry, but it is that beautiful kind of like red sunburnt kind of blush. And so I'm interested, but I do not need to pick anything up right now. But I would be very interested about possibly picking up one of those blushes down the line. But I'm going to get my random wheel pulled up and we're going to do our Project 10 uses. I'm actually going to go in here and let's see, show options repeatedly. Repeat options on wheel when there are too few, no. And then no repeating results. Okay, so I do have the no repeating on. We'll see if it actually works. But we need 9 products. So, ooh, it would help if I actually screen record. So let me do that. So let's go ahead. I have my book. I have my pen. We are going to roll product number 1. Becca Moonstone. I think I had that rolled into Deck of Panning. I don't think I had that rolled into this project, but I'm totally cool with getting 10 more uses on that one. That one already has a pan, so we will see about expanding the pan on that highlighter. Okay, let's roll product number 2. Commodity Milk Expressive. We've already done that one. That actually rolled out last time. We'll see what we can do about the no repeating because it doesn't feel like this wants to be my friend right now. But let's roll again. INLP Misery. I've not rolled in any of my INLPs, but I did use Misery recently. And I really do like that shade, and it's actually perfect for rolling into the fall because it is a more like burnt copper type of shade. So that was pick number 2. We've already done Wild Side. Maybe it wasn't on No Repeating last time. Dusty Mauve. Have I done Dusty Mauve? I thought I did. Yes, I've done Dusty Mauve at the beginning of the year. Bring Me the Teal. I've not done that one because I just rolled in my nail polishes recently. So Bring Me the Teal is a teal creme polish from Holo Taco. All right, we're on to roll number 4. Fallen Flaky, we've done that one. Holiday Wine. Those are ones that are already done because I don't have any of the minis left. Burberry Her Elixir. Okay, so that is another perfume. That one is also a really good fragrance for the fall time because it's a little bit cozy with some vanillas. We just rolled out Bespoke. Come on, wheel. Work with me here. Valentino Born in Roma Coral. So that one is in my purse right now, but that's a travel size of that perfume. All right. So we've had 1, 2, 5 so far. Urban Decay Stash. So we have not had that one roll in yet. And that is one of my liners. So that is 6. So we need 3 more. My Franken blush in Serenity. Perfect timing with me talking about Mr. Malcolm to roll in Serenity. So if you guys didn't know, which a few of you have caught on, all of the dogs are named after characters from the show Firefly that Nathan Fillion was in years and years and years and years ago. But the spaceship, the craft that they were on was called the Serenity. So I named one of my blushes after the ship. And so we will have 10 uses on Serenity. And I'll show you that one if you haven't seen it before because it's kind of like a mosaic blush that I did and it's absolutely beautiful. So 2 more products. The Wild Idea, that is in my deck of panning right now, but I don't mind. So I need 5 uses on it in deck of panning. So after I do the 5 uses for deck of panning, I'll just go ahead and keep it in and we'll do 10 uses in this project. That's one of their, I actually have that one on my look today also, but that's one of their color shifting liners that they're not really duochrome, but it's still pretty. So we'll do that one. And that means 1 more roll in. One Coat Black, we've done it already, thank goodness. And Clinique Intense Chocolate. So that is a brown liner, which I love using the Clinique ones for my tight line, so that'll be really good. So let me write this down, stop my screen recording, go grab all these products, and we will quickly go over what we are rolling in. All right, I got my items. So the first one was Becca Moonstone, and so like I said, we have a good size pan in this one already. And so we will use this for 10 uses. I'm thinking about doing this as my like focus highlighter for next year to use up. So if you guys want to see me pan this next year, let me know. And then our next one was the INLP nail polish in Misery. And you guys can see I've used a decent amount of this one and it's about down to here. So we will have some beautiful fall looks to use with this one. It is gorgeous. I love the INLP formula. So we have that. Then the next one was the Holo Taco Bring Me the Teal, which again is this beautiful bright teal, which I don't really see this as fall, but this can be summer rolling into fall. I feel like I'm still way at the top, even though I've used this one quite a bit. The cremes just go so slowly, but it is a beautiful polish and it is a beautiful color. I don't know if I would use these two together, even though that would create a beautiful kind of like tarnished copper type of vibe. So maybe I'll have to try to do a manicure with those two together. So we're going to do the 10 uses on the polishes, which again, one use is each hand. So like a manicure counts as 2, a pedicure counts as 2. We did have our 2 fragrances roll in. So the first one is the Burberry Her Elixir, which is this one right here. I have a 1 ounce of this, and it's Burberry Her, but with some like berry and vanilla notes to it. And it's a nice scent. Like I said, it's kind of a cold scent. So like I would prefer to wear this in the winter time, but hey, a lot of times I'm working from home and I'm only smelling myself, so I'm totally cool with getting the 10 uses. Now, maybe if I'm in a dark room and I put a flashlight underneath, I can see where the line is on this one because it is opaque glass packaging, but otherwise you guys know I'll have my weights and everything popping up. But the other one was the Valentino Born in Roma Coral. My brain went, it checked out there for a second. So you can push the actual travel size up out of the little silicone. And so I'm all the way down to here with this one. So I'll mark it. And then I wonder, so yeah, there's no markings on this at all. The only thing that tells you what this is the sticker on the bottom. All right, Valentino, you didn't even want to put any sort of writing on your bottles, but I'll go ahead and I'll mark this one just so we can see how far down we are. And that way, actually, I'm not going to push it back in all the way because I know I'm going to have to take it back out. So that is our Born in Roma Coral that we're starting out. And like I said, this is currently the fragrance that I have in my purse. Then we had Urban Decay Stash because we have... Let me do my 3 liners and then we will do the 1 blush. So Urban Decay Stash is just this kind of like murky, dirty green. This is one of my favorite shades, and I'm still going to sing it from the rooftops that I feel like Urban Decay should do a palette of like their most loved liner shades. And so I know they had some eyeshadow shades in different palettes that correlated. Like I think Smog is in the re-released Naked palette. Also in the Born to Run palette, they had a bunch of liner shades. I think they should just do a palette that is all liner shades because that is a beautiful shade. But that is Stash, so we're using that 10 times. Then the Wild Idea from ColourPop, like I said, this is one of their duochrome shades, but to me it just like it has a little bit of a flip if you put it down. Like that looks, I see that color whenever I put it on. I don't see that color. So I see the flip under the lights, and there actually is a little bit of a blue flip in there, or a blue glitter. So like it does have a flip to it, but when you're actually wearing it, it doesn't really come across as that intense flip as if you like pile it on like I did. But still, I have it on my look today, and I think it went really well with this shadow. And so I will continue to use this, and I don't know, do I have not a whole lot of greens right now, but hey, I'll find a way to use it. And then our last liner was the Clinique Quick Liner in Intense Chocolate, and this is a mechanical one. So once you roll it up though, you cannot roll it back down. So word to the wise, but it is just this beautiful dark chocolate shade right there. And I love these for the tight line because number one, the plastic is so smooth that it doesn't like catch your eyes like sharpenable pencils, and you can roll it up just a little bit and really get into that tight line. So actually the Clinique Quick lines are my favorite for my tight line. Once they will transfer down. If you just put them on and then blink, they'll transfer down, but once they set, they do not transfer. I actually have the Quick Liner in Intense Midnight on my tight line today, so I do love those. And our last item that we're rolling in is my Franken blush in Serenity. So it is in one of my Makeup Geek compacts, and it is a mosaic of a bunch of different blushes. So whenever I was repressing my blushes into those smaller square pans, I had extra blush left over. So I just kind of did a little bit of a mosaic with them. So you guys can see there's a little bit of bespoke in there. And then we have this more pinky coral and then a little bit more of a berry tone up here. So I kind of just swirl everything together, and that is the shade of Serenity. It has a little bit of luminosity to it just because of the different shades that are in there, but it's just a beautiful nude blush, and I do need to get more use out of this. I think I've only used this 1 or 2 times so far this year, so love this. So happy that it's rolling into this project. So that is everything in my Project 10 uses. Let me go wash my hand off since I am wearing a white shirt, and then we will get into this big pile of palettes that I have over here, and we will do my No Pan Left Behind. So for No Pan Left Behind, I do have my panning journal here that has my little graph of how I am keeping track of my shades. And let me get myself organized, and we will go into the palettes that were rolled in last time. Okay, so palettes that were still left in from prior update, and I'm kind of doing this from memory. I looked up what palettes I needed to pull out, but I'm doing a lot of this by memory. But we still had a few more uses on my Essence Melted Chrome in Zinc About You, and it is this beautiful pinky taupe metallic here. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the shine on that thing. So I had a few more uses left on this one. It was not difficult at all to reach for this. This is a stunning color. It looks so beautiful and wet on the lids. And I will say this a million times. I say this in every update, that Essence needs to come back out with this type of formula because this is the best they've done. So love this one. I love that I roll my singles in for 5 uses just because, again, it kind of forces me to get a little bit more touching on them because they are individual products themselves. But I'll just go over the singles real quick because I have my Super Shocks out. And so last time I did roll in the Super Shock in Party of 5, which I see purple. Okay, so it is looking a little bit purple there, but it has a, what is it? It has like a what is it called? Like holographic. Again, forgive my brain. I'm going in so many different directions, but it has a holographic glitter to it. And I know that when it's straight on, it looks gold, but then it looks purple. So sometimes I feel like when I say, oh, this is a purple color, and then I show it on camera, it makes me feel like I'm crazy. It's like the flip in the shade is gaslighting me, but it is right. See, you can really see the purple come out and the red base to that one, but it is stunning. I really do love this. It's still beautiful. It's still creamy, so I enjoyed getting 10 uses out of this and using this one with my Pan That palette, which is It's My Pleasure. I loved pairing this shade. This next one, I am considering decluttering this one, but I'll wait until the end of the year to make that decision. But this is the ColourPop Super Shock in Set Sail, and the biggest part of this one, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but I hit pan in this. It's right there in the middle if you guys can catch it, but I hit pan, and the reason I hit pan on this is because I had to scrub into this one to get any sort of payoff, and it's so chunky and so flaky that like it flaked all over my face. There's hardly any payoff on it that there's no reason for me to keep this around. It's never been one of my favorite shades from the very beginning when I bought it. I don't know why I bought it first off, but from the very beginning, it's not ever performed the way that I want it to. It's not performed like any of the other like glitter Super Shocks that I love. So this one really has no place in my collection when I have other Super Shocks that are doing amazing things, and also other indie shades that are doing this. That sparkle, you can't argue with it. So this one definitely is on the chopping block, but I did make myself use it 5 times so that I could really come to that conclusion that it probably does not need to be in my collection. And then the palette that was still in from last time was one that was in, oh, I had this upside down. Hold on, let me peek. Okay, we're good. But it's in one of my Give Me Glow magnetic palettes, and this is my singles of my ColourPop, Sydney Grace, and Makeup Geek in this beautiful color story here. I had a few other shades left to go, which let me turn to my little graphic and see what I still had left. Oh, I only had like four shades that I did in August. So I did not have much left. Maybe I had like 6 or 7 shades left on this one to complete after filming the video. And so I did get those done. And of course, I was very good. I think there was only one day that I missed taking pictures of my looks. So you guys will have a lovely montage at the end of my looks that I was able to do over the last month. But I really enjoyed reaching into the mattes, the ColourPop mattes. Not Makeup Geek. These are all Sydney Grace mattes, and I feel like they are darker than they need to be. Then they don't necessarily blend out the best. They kind of stick because the pigments are just so rich in them. I do have a lot of trouble with Sydney Grace mattes, but Sydney Grace shimmers are out of this world. They are stunning, out of this world. So I love having this palette because the color story just completes me, but those are stunning. And my pants are going to be disgusting. I have on tan sweatpants, and so they are now covered in eyeshadow, but that's okay. That's what sweatpants are for. So I was able to use every shade in this palette, and this one is rolling out. So let's look at the couple palettes that I was able to roll in last month and complete. And the first one is going to be the ABH Norvina. This was the first time that I've rolled in my ABH palette, so I still have Sultry that I have not touched so far this year, but Sultry kind of reminds me of the fall, so I'm glad that it's kind of waiting around. But this is our color story with Norvina. Very, very pretty. And I think if I ever deconstructed this palette, I think I would keep Incense and I would keep the top row and everything else could go. Nothing else in here screams out that it is important in my collection or that it is something special, but I was able to use every single shade. These shimmers are beautiful, and let's see here, let's do Dazzling. Celestial sometimes doesn't come across, and let's do Rose Gold. God, these are just so soft and beautiful. Rose Gold is so soft and has so much pigment, but I'm running out of room. I'm going to have to go wash my hand or start on my arm. But those 3 down there at the bottom are from Norvina. You can just see how much more impactful Rose Gold is than anything else. Absolutely stunning. So glad to have every shade in Norvina done. And then the other palette that rolled in is going to be in my Give Me Glow palette here, but this is all my Natasha Denona minis, and we had Mini Zendo up top roll in, and so I was able to use every shade in that palette, in that row, and they are stunning. I know, was it Ruth had in her video that she used Mini Zendo, and she's like, I don't know what to do with this silver shade. I don't know what to do, and I commented, I was like, that is my favorite shade in this palette. Like, look at that shade. Like, you cannot tell me that that is not a beautiful, beautiful shade. I mean, come on, look at that thing. And so it just shows you that we are all allowed to have different tastes in makeup. But while I'm in this palette, I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. But I did buy the two other palettes, so I bought Mini Rose and Mini Biba, and I was able to use every shade in those two, so those are checked off my list. They're rolled out of the running for this project. So I tried to I tried to use every shade in any new palette that's coming in. So since those two were new, I did go ahead and I got all of that done. Beautiful, again, the wonderful Natasha Denona formula that we know and love, which, again, I'm filming this on Saturday. I'm excited about a special delivery from Natasha Denona that's coming in on Monday. I wonder what that could be. What could be getting delivered to my house on Monday from Natasha Denona? I have no idea. If you have any idea what could possibly be coming in, let me know down below. Your guess is as good as mine. But I couldn't help myself. So that is everything that has been completed and that has been rolled out. And again, because I'm scatterbrained, so in my deck of panning video, I had mentioned that Malcolm was sick and that my mind was not in the right place, and my mind was so not in the right place that I forgot that I had Metropolis rolled into my deck of panning. So this was rolled in for a splurge prompt, and this is the most expensive makeup product in my collection. So I'll make sure to pop up the graphic as far as how much work I've gotten done on this palette, but I have a no pan left behind goal on this palette in deck of panning. I have not met that goal yet, but I really am enjoying using these shades. They are beautiful. So I'll make sure to pop the graphic up. You guys will see how I'm doing on this palette for my no pan left behind, and I will make a mental note to myself, or maybe I'll have to write it down on a post-it, that I will cover this palette next month in my no pan left behind where it belongs. So that leaves us with two palettes that we rolled in last time that I have not been able to hit every shade on. So we'll do this one first, my Z palette of my purple shades. And oh my goodness, my lights are just going to reflect off of everything. Hello, ring light. But this one here, it has ColourPop. Let's see here. We have ColourPop. We have, what are these? I think these two are Give Me Glow, and these two here are Terra Moon. And then this one here is just, okay, so that's a random shade that is kind of almost like a dupe for like a glass bowl. I think it came in a pure palette a long time ago. But since I keep adding to this palette, I've just kind of, I've left it like this, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm trying to hit my no pan left behind on. I've been able to use 4 shades out of here. Now I have used these 4 because they were new to my collection, so I used those already, but they're so beautiful that I want to use them again. So I kind of wiped the slate clean with this palette, and I am using every shade again. So I was able to do another beautiful purple look with this one, but we're still a long way off. Probably another 2-3 looks before I will be able to roll out these purples. I don't anticipate getting any more singles, so I don't think that palette will be growing any, but still want to put it out there that that palette has changed over the year because I've gotten in more purple singles. And then the last one that I've been trying to make progress on is my Odin's Trick or Treat palette, and I've only used 4 shades in this one, and I've only done the one look. I did the one look that you guys saw in a video previously. I don't even know what video anymore, but I actually could probably do something very similar to this look with this palette because I love these greens, but I had to be, I have a hair that's tickling me. For work this week, 2 days out of the week, I was out and about. One day I was at a conference that I had to be on camera, and then the other day I was off half the day with Malcolm. So like I did not do a lot of like fancy makeup this week, and so I did not reach into this palette. So we still have quite a bit of this palette to go, but I'm not upset about that. I mean, even if this kind of hangs on and stays in until October, I won't really be mad. But I don't want to wait around that long and kind of take up a space in this project. But hey, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. So as far as any other palettes that I have hit goal on, that is not, we did Zendo, I did Biba and Mini Rose, but there's no other palettes that I was able to hit goal on this month just by itself. Like I said, I've had a lot of bigger palettes roll into this collection, so I've been focusing on those. But I am, Flower Moon just got rolled into my deck of panning, so I'm doing the No Pan Left Behind, and actually this look right here is out of Flower Moon, so I am working on that one. The The Lethal Wildflower palette is also in deck of panning, so I'm working on that one as well. So we are down to not a whole lot of palettes that are eligible to roll into this project. And that makes me excited because that makes me understand that I am actually using my palettes. So I have my wheel pulled up, and so we're going to roll in, what did I say? I only have 2 that are in right now, so we're going to roll for 3. If we get another single, then I might roll another one, but again, I have some bigger palettes already rolled in. So we're rolling for 3, and we'll see how we do. All right, palette number 1. Okay, let me double check that we actually are on we're on no repeating, but apparently it's going to repeat from last time. So we already have Trick or Treat in. Let's see. The Merry Christmas palette. I almost, like, as this was rolling, in my head, I was like, should I pull out Merry Christmas and just make myself use it in December? But the wheel has already spoken. So Merry Christmas is rolling in in August. So we'll do that one. So that's palette number 1. Pastel, I did that one in deck of panning, so I understand why that one's coming up on this wheel. Give It To Me Straight. Have I? So Give It To Me Straight, I already did. Maybe I used that on my own. I don't remember rolling it in here, but I did use that one in February. So that one's already done. Stone Vibes has already been done. Super Shock Birthday Girl. I don't think that I've done that one yet, but I mean, if it's still in the wheel, I'm fine with that. I'm also mesmerized by what's on my hand right now. So let me pull Birthday Girl real quick so I don't forget, and that will be one of our singles. So we're rolling again as I'm scratching my eye. Naked Wild West, I did that one in a deck of panning. Colors of the Wind. It's another Super Shock. It is just going to roll in all of my singles. Let me grab that one also. All right, we're still looking for palettes here. The Child. I've not done that one yet. We did Mando, but we have not done The Child. So we'll do Merry Christmas and The Child. Let's roll one more. I don't know if I have a whole lot more. I do have a whole lot more palettes with lots of shades in them. What am I talking about? But we're still going to roll one more because we need 3 palettes. Even if we got our singles. Just Peachy Mattes. I use that one all the time, and so I hit all my uses on that one very early on because that's my favorite matte palette to reach into. So we're not worried about. Rose Edit. I've done all of my Viseart palettes. Mercury Retrograde. Have I done that one already? I feel like I have. Yes. I've worked through a lot of palettes. Pumpkin Spice. Have I done all of my... I've done all of my Too Faced palettes. Sorry if we're just rolling and rolling, but I've been using my dang palettes. Natasha Denona Glam. Glam still needs to be done. I've used 4 shades in Glam, so we can definitely do that. So let me pull Merry Christmas, the Child palette, and Glam, and then we have our 2 Super Shocks. I'm going to wash my hand just so I can do some swatches for y'all, but that is our new palettes that we're rolling in. All right, Party of 5 kind of stained my hand a little bit, but let's go over the 2 Super Shocks. So we rolled in Birthday Girl, and this is the one that I actually repressed, and I kind of mixed some vitamin E oil in there because it was drying out, and I haven't used it in a while. It feels a little dry and a little bit flaky, but it is one of the like glitter shades from ColourPop. This is from their birthday collection in like 2017. But I love the shade so much that I could not get rid of it. Look at that. It still has that beautiful impact. And then the other one was the Colors of the Wind. So this is from the Disney Princess collection. And this one is Pocahontas. So this beautiful gold shade right there. And we'll do the swatch. Not as impactful, but still a beautiful gold shade. So these are going to have the same rule where I get to use them 5 times. So I'll put these into my book for 5 uses each. And then we rolled in Odin's Eye Merry Christmas. So I was so happy when they re-released these last year because I was not in a place with my budget the year before to buy a lot of indie shades and an indie palette, so I did not get them on the first release. This is actually from the second release that they did last year. So very, very beautiful. And actually, this was in my top 14 palettes and the shades that I love, and I actually picked New Year, which is this shade right here. I did pick that as my favorite shade, but everything in here is just gorgeous. Apart from, again, we don't need the black. Look at how stunning this would have been without that black. Look at that. I'll keep saying it over and over, but this is such a beautiful palette. I do love these shades, so I don't think that this is something exclusively that needs to be used in the Christmas season, but I'm curious what Odin's Eye will do for the holiday season. I've not really been impressed with the things that they've been releasing recently, so I'm just curious what they plan to do for holiday. But we have the Merry Christmas palette, and then the next palette that rolled in was the ColourPop Child, which this is perfect because I have all these greens that I can use my Stash and Wild Idea liners on. So it all works out. So just a nice little 9-pan. I think that my favorite shade in here, the Force, is an amazing gold shade. It is so beautiful. But then also the Right Hand Mando, which is right up here. This one is so soft. It almost reminds me of like an ABH shade because of how soft it is. Like it's so soft it has fallout. Which way am I doing my hand? This way. So there is Right Hand Mando and the Force. So stunning, stunning shades. Love this little palette. I can probably do 2 or 3 looks out of this and be able to roll this one out. It is just, this is a beautiful, complete little green palette. Just like a beautiful, complete little green Baby Yoda / Grogu, if you're nasty. But the last one that we have is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. And, oh, I fixed the creakiness of it, but it starts to come back a little bit. But it shouldn't because I fixed it. But this is just our cool toned palette that is known and loved. I'm trying to see. No, it's not creaky. It's creaky a little bit, but not as creaky as it used to be. But I don't think I'll ever do a video on how to fix the creakiness because I don't think anybody else would try it or is as crazy as I am to try because it involves a hammer. So I don't think anybody else would try it. I would not encourage anybody else to try it. But this is beautiful. I have used 4 shades. So I've used these 2, this one, and this one. But since we are a little bit limited on our mattes in here, I will just reach for whatever matte I need to be able to do my looks with the shimmers. And so we have the Glam palette. So by my count, not including what's showing up on Monday, which again, that one's going to have to roll in for me to use every shade before I can like tell you guys my review on it. But I have 64 palettes recorded in my book. And then let me see how many of those 64 that I have used. So I've used 42 of the 64. So I've used 65.6% of my collection. that still makes me feel really good that we're like 1 month past the middle of the year and I'm at that 65%. And just because I'm feeling chatty, I still have Glam, Zendo, Retro Glam, Yucca, and I Need a Nude. Then I have the Pat McGrath Bridgerton palette. I have the Tarte Volume 1. I have the Cosmic Beauty / Cosmic Brushes Gothic palette. I have the Rich Romantic to do. I have the AB8 Sultry, the Sigma Quarter Rosa, the Naked Honey, the So Jaded from ColourPop, the In a Trance from ColourPop, and those are the only palettes that have not been rolled into something. So that's not a whole lot. I think that 15 palettes left? That does not seem like a whole lot. This seems like a very doable goal, and so I will go ahead and I'll make sure that none of these palettes fall on the floor as I'm putting them away. I'll put everything into my book. Hopefully, while I've been doing my calculations and talking, I've been playing looks over here. Let me just swipe through my camera roll real quick and see if I have any notes. I've loved the purple looks because I've been trying to use my Pan That palette a little bit more. The Norvina gave me some purple looks. Of course, the Flower Moon gives me those beautiful like duochromes. Let's see here. I used that green look with the pastel palette. I did the one look with the Trick or Treat. I was able to use my singles. And let's see, I did have a lot of the pink and purple shades left in my ColourPop Sydney Grace palette, so I got that beautiful pink look out of that one, and again a pink look out of the Mini Rose. So I had a lot of pink and purple looks over the past month just because of what was rolled in, and also with me dipping into my Pan That palette, which I have an exciting update for that one coming up again on the 5th in my regular deck of panning video. So I'm very, very happy with my looks. I'm very happy with, so as I'm scrolling through my camera roll, on my watch, which, who popped up? Okay, so on my watch, let's see, well, it's, okay, there's my John Wick. Let me see. I have, did it go away? I have my Adam Driver, and then on here, I had saved a bunch of pictures of my favorite Korean drama actors, and so they are now on my watch as well. And so I am, every time I look down at my watch, I have a beautiful man on my watch. So as I was scrolling through my camera roll, I happened upon all of the beautiful pictures that I saved for them to end up on my watch. So if you guys ever catch glimpses of my watch, you'll either see my beautiful Korean actors, or you'll see Keanu Reeves, Adam Driver, along those lines. So I always have a smile on my face whenever I look at my watch. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up so that we can load up the pup in the truck and take him on an outing. I hopefully will have put some pictures up of him while I was giving you guys the update. So again, I thank you guys so much for the support, for the allowing my brain to ramble over the next month with these videos. If I don't make sense, if I'm not concise, just know it's because my brain is in a lot of other places, and I know that you guys are giving me a whole lot of grace with that, and I appreciate you, because in a world where it is so easy to be mean, you guys are choosing to be kind, and that's what I love about our community that we have built. So I'm going to encourage you guys to do all the things. Go ahead and hit a thumbs up on this video. Make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by my birthday in September, and also am I really going to say in honor of Malcolm? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Stick around for some more amazing conscious consumerism, beauty, eyeshadow, project panning type of content. And make sure to drop me a comment down below. Of course, your support with Malcolm is greatly appreciated, and I love reading your comments, even about your pets and your experiences. I really feel like we are just friends providing comfort to each other, so I appreciate you guys so, so much. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and go, but I do appreciate each and every one of you, and I wish you a beautiful day, and I'm going to catch you in my next one.